All right, so let's talk about some season and series premieres, man. And we have four shows to talk about, right? So we are going to kick things off with What If, right? This
Yeah,
is was not one of my most highly anticipated shows from the MCU or from
right,
Disney Plus, but it came out, right? And for some lucky reviewers, or I should say critics, got to see three episodes, the first three episodes,
right.
while the rest of us, have to stick with one, right? But hey, it's all good. It's all good because it was a damn great episode, I must say, and just a great way just to kick things off, right?
Right.
So just running through what this episode was, and we'll just share our thoughts, right? So in this case, the what if question being asked now is, what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger, right? So what this episode does basically is take the actual film, Captain America the First Avenger, and flip it now. So now that Carter, as Peggy Carter, being voiced by Haley Atwell, what if shenanigans happen, and instead of Steve Rogers getting the getting injected with the super soldier serum, Carter did, right? And we see how that
Right.
plays out, right? And in a nutshell, it's just basically just a condensed version of the original film, but
Right.
with some really really smart calls and changes in it as well too, and that's all we'll say. So I was thoroughly impressed with this debut episode. For one thing, I thought that the animation was just well done though. I love
Yeah.
the lighting in it. I love the animation styles in it. It has this sort of like cell shaded 3D, but it also has like a bit of like anime stuff in it, especially like with the smoke and the explosions. I just kind of picked up on a sort of like a anime-esque kind of look to it, right? Of course, the voice acting is spot on, though. Just I was so glad to hear Haley Atwell, Sebastian Stan. Didn't expect to see him in it as well, along with Dominic Cooper, who plays Howard Stark. You know what I mean? Stanley Tucci and all, and that. Um, they actually got somebody else to play Red Skull, so that was kind of obvious. I wasn't expecting Hugo Weaving to return as that, right? Also a couple of cameos that we won't spoil that show up near the end. I was like, okay, okay, you in this, like
Yeah.
like you kind of forget that they are part of this series as well too. But you didn't think they would come through here, right? Okay, just kind of watching the story play out, right?
Right.
Also, I really love the calls in terms of just kind of flipping the script with the Captain America origin. For one thing, I just like the fact that it's not Captain Carter, we call her that for now, rocking the American shield. She's rocking the she's rocking the the Royal Jack now. I thought that was like really good.
Union Jack. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, the Union Jack. Oops, yeah, the Union Jack as well. Right? I love how how her outfit was designed and how the shield was as well. I love how she uses the shield though. You get some sweet ass action sequences involving that though. I love the fact that she was able to pick up on it rather quickly though. I get some great, montage moments involving using the shield as well. Really, really great. I really dug the sort of like um love interest stuff that was going on between her and Steve. I mean, they were really nice as well. And it was just seeing this whole story play out. But it's a woman, right? And they don't hammer it, they don't hammer that point over the head though. But I
Yeah.
love that you do have moments where it's like yeah, I'm Captain Carter, do something about it, right? I know you have these just stubborn guys who just be like, oh well, you're just a woman, you know what I mean? You're not
Right.
supposed to be out there. You might break a nail and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, you have moments like that, right? Um, if I have just this is minor gripe, just a minor gripe though. I do feel like the story is rushed, like really rushed though. But I kind of understand why, because this
Right.
series is clearly for fans of the MCU, right? So if you have no knowledge of if you've never even seen Captain America: The First Avenger, this will just be like, all right, I just don't understand what's going on and why it's moving so quickly, right? But because the show knows its audience now, it just kind of moves at such a speed now. So it's like, yeah, you know what happened before. We're just giving you the cliff notes basically. So this happened, this happened, this happens, right? But at times it does feel like it's moving rather quickly, right? At times I do appreciate the speed of it. It's not wasting any time. No filler, nothing. It just moves. But ever so often though, it may feel a little rushed. I mean, like this,
Yeah,
like we just need to get from here to there quickly, 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 great. At some points it actually works. Like there's a great moment where oh gosh, where Carter is going to interrogate the Nazi scientists, right? You think it's going to be like this long
yeah.
moment with them
Zola.
talking, and then just Zola, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
just cuts, and it's like, oh, okay. So
Right. Yeah.
the speed in particular actually worked there, right? And just how they just get from point A to point B at for the most part works, right? And last thing last I want to say though, this is not a spoiler though. I love the inclusion of the Hydra Stomper. So basically it's
Yeah.
like the Mark One of Iron Man, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically,
But
right.
it's Steve rocking it there. I thought that was like a really, really smart call, right? In terms of that. Because I mean, yes, you're flipping the script now. I know Steve, well, Carter is now the Captain America figure, right? But it's not like Steve is just gonna be there to be a potential love interest or just some random soldier with a gun alongside Bucky, right?
Right.
Who
Well,
also is
they
in this
change
as
up,
well.
yeah, because they change up the framework of how where the what do you call it, the Tesseract
Tesseract,
goes. Yeah,
yeah.
where the Tesseract
Which,
goes. So
which
it's
was a
like
smart call, by the way. Like
exactly.
them
It
using it for the Hydra Stomper. That was a smart
right.
call.
I mean, I suppose that one could be like nitpicky about like, oh well, shouldn't the counterfactual play like this instead of that, and so on and so forth. But I don't have a problem with that. It's fine. Like the logic
Right.
of it is it's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
and
yeah,
this one last and this
yeah.
one
Go ahead.
last Saturday, right? Now, I'll confess, I have not watched the first Avenger in a hot minute, right? So I can't. I know that scenes were sort of reworked or retooled from the first film, though.
Right.
But I can't see for sure if some lines were copied or if specific shots were recreated or whatnot. I can't see, right? Maybe you could watch a new Rockstars video and you go really in depth and tell you, well, this is the comparisons between the original film and this one. You could do that, right? But for
Right.
me, I just kind of looked at it as a no, this is a retelling of the original story, so I can't see for sure if everything played out the way how it did in the original film. Like, obviously not, right? But still, right? And why I keep bringing this up now is because of the final boss. That's all you see the body, right? Because I was
Right.
looking at it, I was trying to remember, wait, you were in this? Were you in the original film? I don't think so.
No.
But I
Right.
couldn't help but think though that
Right.
it
That's a
is what is I forgot the name of the character, but it's this tentacle character who may or may not be in the Doctor Strange movie. I just have this.
Oh, all
Maybe
right.
I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but maybe it's like a sneaky suspicion, right? But that's all I'll say. But
No,
yeah,
all right.
other
Yeah.
than that,
Yeah.
this was a solid premiere. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But I think the character you're thinking of is Shumagorath. Right.
Shumagorat, yeah,
Right. Yeah. He was in Marvel Superheroes, if you remember that old
yeah,
arcade game. Right.
yeah. I
Yeah.
couldn't help but think if it's like a version of him or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading into it a little too much. But I was just thinking about
right.
Doctor Strange, the
I actually thought it was the villain in Agents of Shield who's supposed to be the leader of Hydra. Our character, there's a person who's supposed to be the leader of Hydra and is supposed to be like a big tentacle creature. And I think
right.
I forget the character name, but whatever. Uh but yeah, I dug this for what it was. It was fun. They did enough what they were supposed to do with it in terms of like just telling that what a story. Yeah, again, you couldn't pick counterfactualities with stuff like this. And again, we had to talk about just, I wasn't too excited for all of this stuff until the end of Loki, right? And then when the end of Loki happened, it's like, oh shit, this actually like supposed to make some continuity in the world because it's like, yeah, this is Marvel like doing their own their own fan fiction, right? They somehow get away with that, right? And get you to pay for it, right? Um I enjoyed it. It's competent enough. I don't have any issues with it. It was smart. It was funny. It was just generally just well done, and I can't be mad at any of this. It was good. What the core aspect of it and why it works is Stephen Pecky, right? They kept that, right? They kept their dimension, the love story, everybody making snoo jokes, but that is like that comedy territory. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They make those their back and forth work, and that is why it works. I enjoyed this one. And yeah, it's a solid premiere, solid start. Again, I'm not sure how they're going to play out the counterfactuality stories because is it that everything is caused from this one counterfactuality, or is a bunch of different counterfactualities that coming together somehow? I don't know what they're doing with it. Jeffrey Wright as the well, I don't know if he playing Watu necessarily, but he playing basically, the Watcher. Um, I don't know what they're doing with it in terms of like that overall narrative. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this as it is because of the continuity in the MCU itself. As I say, they figure out a way to read Reddit and what if scenarios and play itself out, right? That is kind of the running joke right now. Yeah, I dug the hell out of this.
All right, all right. Well, just to answer your question, though, I think it's the latter. I think that it's just realities, maybe, but then again, it's the MCU, right? They're not just gonna do that for they're not gonna just make fan fiction for the sake of it, right? There's gonna lead to something else. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's all gonna be connected somehow, but the question is how, right? And I forgot to mention, Jeffrey Wright's character. Yes, he is the Rod Serling of this show here. I found it even funny with him being casted though, because I couldn't help but think about Jordan Peele and the Twilight Zone and them 2 seasons,
Yeah,
which I thought were fine, but I mean afterwards it was just like, "Psst, no, sorry, we canceling ya." So yeah, but it is what it is, man. But yeah, certainly
right.
excited to see what next or what if comes up next, man. So moving on now, Star Trek Lower Decks.
Sure.
This, as I said earlier on, is, well, you said, well, I know you love this show. This made it to your best of the year, as in 2020,
Yeah,
season one. For me, I haven't jumped on board because I just have this fear that the in jokes, right, the Star Trek jokes and all these references are just gonna fly past my head, and it is probably gonna affect the way how I, you know, how I engage with the series here. But it started back, right? So take it
right.
away. What did we get with the premiere of season two?
I had fun with this one. I thought it was good, but I didn't. I felt they could have done it. They could have punched it up a little bit. Not like a big disappointment or anything like that. I just felt they could have just done more with it as a premiere. It's not bad. I have a lot of fun with it as it is. But yeah, basically they just could have punched this up and have it work. Basically what they did is they kind of just replicate the first episode of season one, right? So they open up with this. Well, they do something new, but they open up with this hilarious sequence on the holodeck. That is all I'll say. It's actually really funny and well done if you know what to look for. Um, and then they just build from that, and then they basically, as I said, they replicate what season one premiere is, which is something happens to the Commander Ransom. Commander Ransom is the second in command, the EXO of the Cerritos, and on a planet, and then because of the main character's Marina's actions, it causes shenanigans to happen, and then it builds from there. And that's pretty much it. And then they had a B plot involving um, the engineer character, that's his Rutherford. They just basically had him do something, something he goes through a situation involving that said chaos, and then they make it work as it is. And that's pretty much it. It's our first episode. I'll say the A plot is very funny. This does a lot of classic Trek jokes. If they make references to Gary Mitchell and Charlie X and characters like that. And then they have the Dr. Tiana character make a joke about boulders, and that's it. It's just a bunch of great in jokes, and they basically reference what people talk about as well. They basically reference the ideas of the you know the, them going through like the emotions of what it is that the daughter and the mother should be doing it, and that is basically the arc. I didn't love it. As a premiere, I felt they kind of punched it up a little bit, mostly because the B part was pretty weak. They just had a running joke with Rutherford and TND, if you know who these two characters, and it's like a love story kind of, but it was just kind of weird and didn't really work for me humor wise. Just I felt they could have punched up the humor, but it's still a solid premiere. It's fine, competent enough. I don't have a problem with it. I'm still pretty excited for the rest of the season. So that's it. Just a quick review of the first episode of season two.
All right. Okay. Well. You have an idea how many episodes we're gonna get with this season? Is it gonna be 10
Yeah,
or like what?
I just I just assume it's going to be the same number as last season. I forget how much exactly was last season. I think it was 10. I forget what it was.
Yeah, it was 10.
Right,
And actually just see it on Wikipedia here. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting 10 now. So
right, yeah,
should be wrapping up in October, similar to last year. So I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look. You know what I mean? I should enjoy it, right?
Yeah,
So oh gosh, wait, this transition, right? So from Star Trek now we're gonna go to Star Wars. Ha ha ha
right.
ha, right? So let's gonna do a run through of the full season one of the Bad Batch, right? We covered the first two episodes because they premiered roughly a few days ahead of each other, back in May, early May. And we reviewed it and we enjoyed the episodes for what they were, right? So afterwards, I admittedly, like I wasn't, nor did I go with the intention of actually like watching these episodes per week. I mean, similar to like one of those MCU shows. What I mean, keep in mind, yes, they're from Disney Plus, but that doesn't mean that every weekly Disney Plus show I have to watch every single week, right? I know it
Right.
have YouTubers who do that and then they comment on everything that happened, but I just said, you know what? But let's wait till all 16 episodes wrap up, and then I'll just check them out on my own time, right? But Ricardo, you say you didn't watch the finale, right? But how much
Did not.
episodes did you see?
I only got to about 6 episodes. I didn't get to all. I just only about half the season, so I didn't know enough to jump into this or even talk about it too much. I just know the basic beats of it and then a couple of episodes. That was about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope it's not for any like reason like, oh, you're just not enjoying it, right?
No, not like that. I couldn't find time, and they just had other things that just was more interesting. More. I'm surprised I wasn't into it as much as it could have been. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It clearly skews young. That's why I wasn't into it as much as it could have. So if but yeah, whatever. I'll catch up with it eventually. I'll just pick up with it.
Yeah, but I'll get to that whole, the audience part of the bit, right? So in a nutshell, what it's about, right? It centers on, well, the Bad Batch, right? This is a squad of these clone troopers, and but unlike the other clone troopers that you've seen in like Star Wars Episode 1 to 3, and this actually is set I would say technically in the halfway into Episode 3. Okay, yeah, this is around the moment where Emperor Palpatine creates the Galactic Empire, right?
Right.
And then he does the infamous execution of Order 66, whereby I mean all these clone troopers basically just kill any Jedi that's close by, right? And we got that truly powerful moment in Revenge of the Sith, right? So
Right.
yeah, this is where the story pretty much begins. So the
Right.
order is executed, but and we just introduced to five of these characters, right? So it's Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Echo, and Crosshair, right? And
Yes.
yeah, I forgot to mention they call Clone Force 99, right? Which, I mean, alludes a lot to something, but I'll get to that in a bit, right? So yeah, the order is executed though, and but they're just unaware of what's going on, right? They don't know what's going on, and this is during this particular mission involving this Jedi Master and her Padawan, right? That's all we'll see.
Right.
So afterwards, now it's just like, well, okay, Jedi being killed, but we don't know what's going on. And while they go back now to Camino, and this is the actually just a planet. And, ever since it was introduced in episode 2, I always love the concept of
Yeah.
a planet where it constantly rains. And, you know what I mean? And it's just like these really like oceans and
Uh,
all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
And,
Planet
and
Trinidad. Yeah.
you know, I just love that concept, right? But yeah, this is where all the clones are designed and all that kind of stuff, right? So they go in, they're not sure what's going on, some shadiness going on with the Empire and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But long story short, now Crosshair now leaves the group. Now he
Right.
pretty much
Well,
kind of just ditches
well,
them.
I saw no, I saw all of that. Like, why does he leave the group? Because it's like he was prone to they remove. I think they either remove or make the clone programming more apparent on him because I think it's because of their modifications. That's why they were resistant to the or the 66 program.
Yeah,
I forget the actual
exactly.
details
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. Right.
And it has to do with this inhibitor chip that they all possess
Right.
and all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, he switched sides now. So now he working for the Empire, right? And well, the rest of them now they run into this particular clone, a young female clone by the name of Omega, who has this very very thick New Zealand accent,
For
which
real.
is interesting because the actress herself who plays her is from New Zealand. Her name is Michelle Ang. So yeah, when she's talking, it's like Hunter, Wrecker,
Yeah.
Tick,
Rekka.
Echo,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wrecker. It's so noticeable. It's so cute. It's so funny at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and later on in the show, you learn about who she is. Well, sorry, how she was created and how the others were created, and how as a, how the, how as an end result they came out, different, right? So yeah, they don't look or act the way how the other clones do. Each one has a specific skill set. That's all you'll see. And yeah, pretty much after that though is just these five clones on just these adventures, right? And while they're doing that now, they ever so often run into Crosshair. There's actually a subplot involving a, how you should say this, sort of informant slash like mercenary-ish kind of character called Sid. She's voiced by Rhea Perlman.
Okay.
Basically, she owns this sort of like bar, and she just like giving the bad batches these missions now, you know what I mean? But you're never too sure about who she aligned with, or what if she's really trustworthy or not now. They will ever so often you will run into a few cameos, like a few characters that you wouldn't expect to see, like case in point Saw Gerrera, right? If you remember him
Right.
from Rogue One.
Yeah, yeah.
I did not expect
They call
to
him
see
Forrest Whitaker.
yeah, Forrest Whitaker.
Right.
Fennec Shand, from Miguel Ming Na Wen. She make her appearance in this
Right.
too.
Right.
Like what?
Right.
You in this too? I mean, Cad Bane, who is like this popular character from the Clone Wars series, the bounty hunter. He shows up in a couple episodes too.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
what? You know what I mean? So they do that, right? So just to jump into the review here one time, what I do like about this show compared to the Clone Wars now is that like with the Clone Wars now, 'cause I only watched one season, right? I could be wrong with the statement, but I haven't seen the other five seasons, right? But it does oftentimes feel that's the Clone Wars, right? That everything that you're seeing here, you have to kind of make note of because it will reverberate in like episode three now. You know what I mean? So it always feels like you have to just take note of every little thing that happens in
Okay.
this. Like this is history being shown to you, and you have to be aware of all this because
Well,
it's
right.
because
Because
the final exam is episode three. That you'd be like,
right.
oh
Right.
right.
Because
But with the bad,
I knew from episode one they had the character from Star Wars, the oh gosh, the one right after episode four now. Or right before
oh
episode four.
talking
No, not talking. The Star Wars series right before episode four. Was our character was our series named by the Rebels. Rebels.
right Rebels, which
There's a
I
character
still haven't watched as yet.
one of the main characters in Rebels was introduced was in this in the beginning. The little Jedi Padawan who escaped. That was a character
Oh, okay,
In Rebels. So, yeah, same
all right.
character. It's like okay, little things like that. No.
Yeah, I
So you
should
find
have
out
known those two characters were were referenced or mentioned in other
right.
shows, Star Wars
Yeah.
shows. I should have known. Yeah, yeah. But with this one here, it really does feel like, well, for me, you don't have to do too much legwork in terms of, all right, I need to remember. Oh well, you know what you're seeing here, and this is what this character did in the movies and all that kind of stuff. It
Right.
just kind of treats it like, no, this is their adventures. I just kind of watching things play out, right? The show doesn't stop to tell you how extremely important these events are, right? You're just kind of seeing things play out, right? There's one particular moment though, and this is in the penultimate episode. It's called Return to Camino. That moment in particular like caught me completely by surprise though, and like for me, I was just like, wow, like this in itself kind of really shows you the end of this whole clone program now. And now that we go into the traditional stormtrooper characters basically now.
Right.
So it's just like this one, like the final kneel that's been hit now, you know what I mean? I just see it visually. It's a great scene, but for me it was just like, wow, but like that's like officially the end of this whole thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
you see how it plays out in the final episode, right? So I'll talk about the final episode in a bit, right? um so yeah, so you don't have to know every single thing Star Wars wise going into this one here. You should be familiar for the most part with like the Mandalorian or Clone Wars, and I guess to extent Rebels, but I haven't seen Rebels. But you should be familiar with the prequel trilogy enough to understand what's going on, right? But you still get your Star Wars goods and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? In terms of the visuals, sound design, all that kind of stuff, right? Speaking of visuals, I thought that the animation for what this was really really strong though. I
Yes.
just love the gradual progression from what we got with that Clone Wars movie, which is like visually it was just ugh, to yeah, we
Right.
still doing the kind of wooden puppet kind of look to the faces and all that kind of stuff. But it has a lot more texture and detail to everything,
Right.
and not just with characters though, but just like the backgrounds and visuals are just so stunning though, like just so polished, so well done, and I really dug like the lighting, cinematography. I thought was just excellent, just near flawless in my opinion, right? Of course, as I expect from a Star Wars show, the sound design is just top notch. I would just love to hear this on like this, big speaker system though, because yeah, it's just, I mean, when it comes to like Star Wars, anything, right? You know, it's gonna sound just top notch, right? So yeah, this is no different, right? The voice acting I thought was solid. I mean, D. Bradley Baker, Dread, aka Klaus from American Dad. I mean,
Right.
dude, the heavy lifting this man did, but like
Yeah,
he is
he
voicing
played all the clones,
five
right? Yeah, yeah, he played
characters,
every
right? You know what I
character.
mean?
Right.
Yeah,
I saw that.
and
Right.
also other clones because yeah, you have other clones that show up as well
Yeah, well,
too. Some of who
all
you
of them is
remember from.
yeah, all of them is the same guy from oh god, what's his name? The fellow from New Zealand now. So, um,
Yeah,
right, exactly. So,
right. Yeah. So I mean, I said it before in my last review for the first two episodes, but D. Bradley Baker, but this man, this dude. Give this man an award, like give this man some kind of prize or something, because to juggle all these characters, right, and make them sound just ever so slightly distinct, though, you know what I mean, works, right? I mean, admittedly, yes, it is sort of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles aesthetic, thrown onto these characters. So yeah, you have the tough one, right? That will be Wrecker, right? You have the badass one, right? The one who's always kind of silent. This is Hunter. You
right,
have the tech guy who's the
right.
tech, right? Then you
So
have
Hunter originally, I thought Hunter was based on Rambo, but it's not Rambo. It's that guy from Predator, the Native American character. No,
oh
not not
word,
not
okay.
not Native American. Oh God, I forget the character from.
Oh gosh, no. I know you talk about. I forgot the character name, but no, he
Yeah,
wasn't Native American. Yeah,
no,
because when you look at the red band, it's like, oh yeah, that's Rambo,
it's
and look at the hair,
yeah.
that's Rambo, right? Look at the chin, that's Rambo, right? But
Oh,
yeah, you come to think of it, that makes sense. Yeah, that's clever. And yeah, Echo, well, he's just like the supporting character to Tech, right? So he knows just as much as Tech does, and as much as Hunter does, as well. Crosshair is still my favorite character out of all of them. Sorry,
yeah.
because he's just so snivelly and just so, yeah, you know what I mean.
The law.
Soldiers follow orders, right? He
Yeah.
always has that toothpick in his mouth. Oh my god, which is so not dirty Harry, but just those. I don't even want to say Razor Ramon, right? But just those tough guys. He just had to have this toothpick because I'm tough, man. I love
Yeah.
that, right? Also Omega, right? At first I was just like, all right, we need a kid here because of the audience, because admittedly, especially the way how the show, like how I went into the film, this show though, I thought this was gonna be like relatively edgy compared to like Clone Wars and Rebels. It's like,
Right.
well, not
No.
exactly. Like it,
Yeah.
it
It's still
still
yeah.
have
Yeah.
its dark moments, but it's still like within, I don't want to say family friendly, right? But let me just say within TV PG, TV 14 to PG territory, right? So it's nothing too shocking, nothing too extreme, nothing overly violent and all that kind of stuff. Like, but you have to have the kid characters, so you could, so the older Star Wars fans could tell the kids, yeah, it's fine, sit down and watch it, man. It's
Right.
not just for us adults. Your kids can watch it too, man. I mean, and you have other characters there you could watch and have fun with as well too. So it kind of balances that whole, the, I want to say, family friendly vibe with the dark, oh, this is war, this is how serious this shit is kind of vibe, you know what I mean? And I actually like dug how the well, the storytelling for the most part was decent as well, right? The first episode clocks in at about an hour and 15 minutes. Everything else is just roughly 20, 25 minutes though. But those episodes don't overstay their welcome. They tell the story, you get some, nice action, great visuals, sound design, all that jazz though. And you get ever so often, just these nice little subplots involving, the Bad Batch and what they're dealing with. Especially with them kind of understanding their role, especially with this new switch basically with the Galactic Empire now. You
Right.
see how it really affects them and how they move. And I actually like the fact that we have the character of Sid now, because she's like, yeah, these characters is soldiers now, but they're being kind of almost extinct. So yeah, let me use them as mercenaries, and yeah, basically
Right.
she has them do these mercenary jobs, right? So it works here, right? Um, as far as the finale goes, though, I could I have a feeling like some people will be underwhelmed by it though because like I think it's going to end on some kind of big serious like full stop now. But it's just like, well, yeah, this thing happened. I mean, as I said before, with the transition, that's all I see, and it's just a matter of set the characters trying to get to safety. That's all we'll see, right? And that's pretty much what the episode is. You think it's going to be some kind of like big serious showdown, but no, not really. I actually like where the story stops off. So yeah,
Right.
there is going to be a second sequel. Sorry, second season because obviously, but they do leave some certain narrative threads open though that I wish that this season could have wrapped up though. I wish you could have seen some more characters. Well, sorry, some of the characters who show up, like at least follow up on them, but they don't really do that. So yeah, I know for some people they just be like, well, everything was going good, and then the end comes. It's just like, well, it was all right. But I mean, thankfully we get a second season, so it should kind of expand on those things, right? But yeah, for me though, this was good. This was solid, man. Not the best Star Wars series that we've gotten thus far, in my opinion. For me, that's still the Mandalorian.
Right.
Because it's live action and because it's the Mandalorian, right? I mean, come on, right? Um, but for me now, who still isn't like fully on board with the Clone Wars series and all that kind of stuff, too. This is a nice fit for me because like I feel with this one, I don't need to know everything from the Clone Wars. I don't need to know anything from Rebels. It's just, all right, I know the situation because of episode 3, and it just kind of just goes from there. You don't have to do a sort of research or remember, oh, well, back then and this all that kind of stuff. You don't need to do that. Well, I guess if you're a true Star Wars fan, then you will know everything that's going on. And you'll probably enjoy it more, right? But for people like me who just kind of going in just with basic knowledge, you'll still enjoy it, man, for what it is. So rating wise, strong 3.5 to like 4, man. I think this is worth checking out. And not overly excited for the second season though, but this was an impressive start, me to the
Right.
series here. And I just want to see them expand on, just these characters and just the adventures that they're going on. I just like the idea that it's about adventures and not all leading up to some big grand event, right? But yeah, I mean they're off to a good start here, man. So yeah, looking forward, or at least I have a feeling that second season is going to be just as good, man. So yeah. And
Yeah.
last, as far as TV goes now, season 3 of Titans, right? So
Right.
Ricardo, if you don't mind, I just want you to do a quick synopsis of what the general conceit is with this season thus far, right? But just to begin, um, I am probably one of the few people who actually prefer season 2 over one.
Right.
Just simply because I felt like with one, they were just really having this identity crisis, right? They wanted to be dark, edgy, R-rated DC material, right? Not DCU, but DC material, right? So it's the characters that you've seen in Justice League and Young Justice, right? The cartoons, but they're like fuck Batman and they curse and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're going for that and they're trying to go for realism. But then you had this stuff with Raven and her shenanigans as well too. So you're just trying to blend that, and then with Nightwing and Batman and just all these things. I mean, it just felt like there was a lot
Right.
going on. But with season 2, however, I felt like, all right, yeah, we know what it is we're gonna do. We're gonna stick with it. Yes, we're gonna bring in Superboy, but we're not gonna make him, just because he's in it, just because crypto's in it, doesn't mean that we're gonna make this show, family friendly at all. No, we stick with guns. We're gonna be dark. We're gonna be R-rated, and we're gonna have fun with it too. But most importantly, I felt like here more than the previous season, they kind of get the fact that yes, it's still a comic book world. It's still comic book characters. You're still gonna get your comic book stuff, right? And you get that, right? I felt like it just really was a lot more focus here. Like they knew what they were going for, what their vision was, what they were going to do with the characters, and it's just these calls. Some of them you might like, some of them you might not. And yeah, for me, I actually enjoy season 2. Maybe if I rewatch it again, I might just be like, whatever. But I don't know. Compared to season 1, I thought that was a huge improvement.
Right.
But yeah, well, before you get into the synopsis of season three, yeah, what were your thoughts on the previous season?
Yeah, well, similar attitude about it. I am on the fence about the series. I've called it the Riverdale of DC Comics because it's pretty much that feeling. It's golden age era, but played all dark and serious business. And it kind of works, kind of. But for me, I just dug it for what it was. It's simple. They kept it for what it is, and it suffers from the same kind of not flowing particularly well kind of thing that the first season does. I had a
Right.
huge
I,
problem
I would
with
agree. Hmm.
yeah, season one has a huge narrative is conceit that I did not care for at all. Um, that was kind of my big problem with it. Mostly because they ended the season on the next season with the premiere. It was kind of weird.
Yeah,
Uh
which was weird. And this
and
was before COVID, so they had no excuse. It
exactly,
wasn't like
yeah,
like
exactly,
say Flash, for example, season seven.
right.
Sorry, season
Uh,
six, which led to
right.
seven. Right.
Yeah, and well, this here's the thing. This season kind of does the same thing. So it kind of throws off the time, and I think as much, or at least I should say, they should have ended it off on a cliffhanger in that way. So we're just gonna get into explaining season two. So Jason Todd, Robin, with the hard and ass, don't listen to Batman,
I
and
know, right?
and basically, uh, he Batman tells him to not encounter the Joker. He has Joker data rights because he listens to some police scanners, and it doesn't work out for him. And then they announce, well, the Joker murders Jason Todd. That's the framing. That's how it starts. But then you find out, wait now, this Jason Todd, they mention immediately, almost immediately after, somebody called the Red Hood comes out, and then they mention it's implied, or at least strongly implied. I think it's outright mentioned. Uh, the Batman murders Joker, at least Bruce Wayne, and then he basically kind of tells the Robin that we follow on Nightwing, this is Dick Grayson, to be a better Batman than I am, implying that he should take over as Batman. And they have the Titans working from Gotham to solve the mystery of who's this new person robbing out people and being basically the the new this person called the Red Hood, this individual. You're not sure what's going on. It's a big thing, and it's a whole story. And that's it for what it is, or at least the first three episodes. And I'll say those first couple episodes actually paces out quite well, in my opinion.
Agreed. Agreed.
Right. However, again, the pacing, there's one problem with the timeline for me, which is, well, he just become Red Hood because, well, spoilers, Jason Todd is the Red Hood and he's not dead. And I was like, wait, he dead? Then he becomes Red Hood almost immediately and then goes on a carrying spree. And it's unclear to me what they're doing there. Now, I have a pet theory of what's going on there, and I think it involves the Joker. And what I suspect is that they might be doing something like the video game Arkham Knight. No? So it might
Right.
have something like that, maybe, where he was Red Hood long before that, and that's why it plays out like that. Like why he have such a villainous turn so suddenly. No? Um, but yeah, as it is, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it for what it was. Those first two episodes were good. I have but the problem I have right now is that it's a big dumb drama thing, and it kind of dumb when you think about it because like, dog, just chill out and listen to a man. You try and tell me that you just trust this man out of nowhere and to do these things, and then you end up getting robbed out. Well, Hawk, right? What going on with Hawk?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought the Hawk thing was kind of dumb, a little
It
bit.
was no,
Yeah,
like I was watching this thing play out. Don't worry, guys, we're not gonna spoil it. And like, wait. For this to play out like this, for him to be so gullible, right? There
I
had
don't
to be
understand.
some kind of, there had
I
to be
couldn't.
some kind of catch to this, right? Like
I couldn't
maybe
follow.
we as the audience, whoa, like you think, oh, he's just gonna follow because he just blindly dump like blindly into this. And you're thinking, all right, no, wait. The show won't do us that, man. Maybe you have some kind of twist somewhere. It's like, nope, he just goes right into it. No,
Yeah,
and you're like,
I couldn't.
why
No,
you?
yeah,
Oh,
the thing is, I couldn't follow why he was listening to because, like, wait, I missed something. Why is it he listening to this person? Why is he doing this? Why? I couldn't follow it. Like, why does he did this, that, and the other? And
Yeah,
then you find
maybe that's something to do with season two, but I doubt that. I
right.
honestly doubt that. No, am I gonna go back to season two and be like, oh wait, so that's a connection, that's a relation that they had
I
or something.
no,
But
I know I missed
no,
something with this because here's the problem. It's not like they set up this because they think they already set him up as the villain now. Like they knew. So what going on exactly? Like, why does he decide to make these decisions? And especially the part where he tell him get in the pool now. It's like, you're fucking serious with this? Like, swimming
I
is like
don't, boy.
swimming is like the most vulnerable thing you could possibly be in, though. Like, what? Anyway,
Yeah, like
um,
don't like without spoiling details, though. Just how that whole scene play out mentally, or either you'll see it in your mind or you'll see it verbally. You'll be like, dude, what are you doing? But again,
yeah,
for me now, I was thinking, oh, there's a catch though. So
yeah,
maybe Hawk have the upper hand. But it's like, well, nope.
no, not
And
really.
I'll stop here, which is
Yeah, not
dumb.
really. Yeah, yeah. But that's it. It didn't bother me too much because again, I'm waiting for some other shoe to drop with this. To be honest, right? At least my in my opinion, I think there should be some other shoe to drop with all of this. I'm not sure. Maybe not. If that's the case, then fine. But it's still not really adding up for me because it's just coming across like bad writing as it is right now. But again, it's only 3 episodes, whatever. Um, as I say, it's I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's the Riverdale-ification of DC Comics, which is up to you if you want to take like that. Because on the one end, I just enjoy it for what it is. It's like, yeah, it's golden era, comics, but still goofy and kind of silly. And then on the other end, they'll turn around and then like hit you some real like wow, that is what they're going with this way, like kind of thing now. And it make you feel like you're watching Gotham at times now. So like and I've been on record of not caring for Gotham, to be honest. So like it didn't I didn't hate it, but at the same time I halfway on it now. So we'll see. I mean, it not bothering me too much, but I'll give it a chance. I'm halfway on. I've been halfway on the show in general anyway. So like I'll just give it the shot that it need to give. But yeah, first 3 episodes was okay. It was cool. They stuck for what they're trying to do, and it not bothered me too much. Um, but it has some real dumb writing in it, to be honest, as it is. Again, I'm only judging it for what I've seen, but we'll see. Time will tell, and they'll pay it off. They'll hopefully pay it off better. That's about it.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part, though. I couldn't help but think that there was some dumb, sloppy writing, especially that third episode, though. And I get where they were coming from with the payoff. That's obviously without spoiling anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's not
still,
that.
it's still
It
like, but,
no, the actual payoff
like
itself,
what?
I don't mind at all.
Right.
Like that actual payoff, I don't mind how they play it out, and it's like, oh shit, and especially involved with the dog. Like, all right, that wasn't
Yes.
bad.
Yeah.
That wasn't so bad at all. Like, that was kind of badass.
Yeah.
But
But
still,
leading up to it, there was still like, but
but
dude,
yeah,
how,
the whole
why?
the whole impetus for it does not work at all for me. Like, somebody had explained that, and I don't know if I'm missing something. I went I was so confused by it that I went to actual forums to check what going on now. Like, oh
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
like
As opposed to watching some sort of recap video on YouTube. I
like
get you.
usually I'll be like, okay, I understand what went on, and then I'll probably, if I don't understand, if I'm not too confident in what I saw, I'll like just say, kind of just do a quick double check, and then they'll be like, ah, nah, yeah, that is exactly what it was. All right, cool. But with this, I just couldn't find an answer. I'll usually like just not ask a question directly. I'll just somebody will explain to the comments. Like, people will just inadvertently explain in some comment or something like that. But with this, I was confused. I was like legit confused. I was, wait, this character just kind of dumb though. What's going on though? That's how it just feels to be. But whatever, time will tell.
Yeah. Time will tell. Because hopefully with the next episode, set episode, sorry, they really should clear that up though. And I think
Yeah.
because I don't want to say it. I know we talk a lot about Hawk, right? But I don't. Can they try to set up that maybe it has something to do with his relationship with Dove?
Right.
That's all you'll see. But no, I think it's something else though. But I feel like it's just something that both of us clearly missed it. But apart from that, though, I well, I actually dug these episodes though. The flow of it, the um, just how the story played out though. And it was just interesting, just how it starts off with with Jason there. I mean, like I thought that was really interesting, incorporating Joker into it as well too.
Right.
Speaking
And
of
then,
characters, I expect to see Did expect to see Scarecrow in this too, and I won't lie though, seeing him
Not
in
bad.
this show and just the setup of it was very Gotham inspired though.
Right.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that well, I don't work with you on that though, but I kind of hoping that they do a lot more with him than just having him just be this Hannibal Lecter kind of character. That's all you'll see, right?
Right.
But I love the idea of just the Titans going to Gotham City, right, for the first time and having
Right.
to deal with shit there, right? Also with Bruce Wayne, once again played by Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones
Yeah.
fame. Just kind of worn out, just kind of done, just like
No, right. Yeah, exactly.
I,
No,
I
but
kind of just don't want to be Batman again. You know
no,
what I mean? So
I
I
was
like
like
that.
legit. Again. I think they still have a lot of misdirection going on here because it's legit shock when he said what he said and he did what he did. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah, it was shocking.
yeah. I was like, oh shit, they're doing that and they do it off camera. Like they didn't even like
Yes.
make a scene out of it or anything like that. It's just him. He talked to Robin and then he move and he just get out it. I'm like, all right, nah, they're paying off. This had to be a payoff for something else. So I don't know what they're going for. I'm waiting for them to just finish the story. But yeah, it's not bad for what it is. But I clearly missing something, and
Yeah.
I still very unclear. So why it is that this character is so kind of dumb, to be honest. But it really,
Right. I
I really
know,
couldn't,
boy.
I really
Yeah,
couldn't.
there really had to be something involved though. And again, I really don't want to go back to season two to find out, right? Speaking of season two, I felt like oh gosh, with McGill Corey, right? Well, played by Anna
Right,
Diop too. There's a little subplot sorry involving her too. And I was trying to
right,
remember, or at least there was a character involved in it that keeps showing up. I was trying to remember if this character was in season two. Probably that character was or
right.
not.
Well,
But
yeah, we
just
got
like these new powers that she get now, I have a feeling that it has to do with what happened in season
right.
two, which I don't remember everything of. Sorry, I just don't. But I feel it has to do with a reveal or so, just this revelation that she had in the previous season. But they kind of leave it mysterious for now. But I hope to see that clarified later on.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I mean, everybody just doing their thing though. Just glad to see Superboy involved in this too. I thought, like, I don't know, maybe you could kind of. This a minor spoiler. I thought it was kind of dumb now that he had to build a device to save a person. Because like, okay, because you have super speed, and because you could read fast, don't mean that you could build a device in like under 45 minutes too. Like I just thought it was just kind of weird having him just be the guy to create
Yeah, stuff.
something to do the thing.
Yeah,
It's just
stuff.
like, well, he's Superboy, Joe. Like, what the hell? Like, you're no scientist, whatever.
Yeah, no.
Um,
It's a plot thing. Like it
yeah,
didn't bother me too much. Kryptonian's pretty smart, so it's like it was a plot thing. They needed to justify the super speed, and even with the super speed, blah blah blah. Right. That is
right,
what
right.
I kind of got it from it.
Okay,
Um.
okay, okay. Also didn't expect to see Barbara Gordon in this, right? And
Right. I thought she was
because the
great.
show be a borrowing from the Killing Joke, she's in a wheelchair, right? And she's
Right.
actually the
Right.
commissioner. I thought that was a really smart call because I thought he was gonna see like Jim, but it's like actually Barbara. It's like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the actress who plays her, Savannah Welch, because I was a little iffy. It's like, okay, we doing the Barbara thing. Like I know there's an episode that's titled Barbara Gordon. I didn't think that she was gonna be in this state now. But like
Right.
like when she comes in, it's just like, yeah, it works, and she really does well in a nutshell. But this is actually the premiere episode. That's the title of it, right? She was Batgirl, and just she ended up in a wheelchair because of
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Joker, right? This is implied, right? But yeah, she is just as resentful of Batman as Dick Grayson is.
Oh no.
I,
Yeah.
I love that. You know what I mean?
She completely she completely threw out and dragged Batman because she like completely right. And they get into the core argument of the whole Red Hood killing joke narrative, right? Of this is what the consequences of catering to Batman in some way, shape, or form, right? Killing Joke, sorry, not Killing Joke, Red Hood is a big story simply because of that, right? And they're leaning into that very, very heavily. Um,
Yeah.
again,
Before I forget, a couple things. Speaking of references to old comics, right? Um, I do like the sort of blink and innocent moment where a character says there's a death to the family. It's like,
right,
ha 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 ha, ha,
right,
ha, ha. I see what you did there. I see
right,
that,
right,
right?
right, right. Yeah, they had
And
it
last
like
thing, as far as well, the Red Hood character. I didn't mention the Red Hood character. Um, but there's have one gripe though. Is that with the actor himself, right? I mean,
oh,
he young and he fit the just the idea of, oh, I'm a young Robin and I'm just gonna just do my own thing, all that kind of stuff. But I was a little iffy on the mask itself, the helmet.
I was
Sorry,
just about to help. I was
it's
just about to mention that.
very
Hate the helmet.
Iron Manish. Like I
Yeah,
can't help but look at it
I
and
don't like
see
that helmet. I don't
Iron
like the.
Man.
Yeah, no, that is
From the
exactly how.
eyelids
Yep.
to the mouth, the little slight little mouthpiece thing. It's too Iron Man. Like
I
when you
was
see it, you'll
just.
understand. Yeah.
I was just going to mention that I hate the mask. It too weird and metally. It don't have a good design. It don't have a good definition design. It don't look unique or interesting. And
It
yeah,
looks goofy though.
yeah,
Like when you
it
think
look too
about it,
goofy.
it looks like a cosplay Iron Man.
Exactly.
Actually, yeah.
I actually kind of hate the helmet. I hope they change it throughout the season and it's just an early outfit because it got destroyed or damaged, right? So I don't know if they're still doing it the same way.
Well, part of it was damaged. The front
Right. So
panel. Yeah.
I hope we get a more comic accurate outfit.
Right. And
However,
well, before I forget to it, it is the Red Hood character again. Not this the actor do, and I know it's the Red Hood, so he have to be tough and intimidating. What do you think about Red Hood being this guy? Is just like, well, this guy, Jed, this
well, all
this
right.
the
So
evil Red Hood that
that's
I'm supposed to be scared of, because like in
but that,
the oh gosh, like in the second episode actually, yeah, they really make this guy out to be like this uber bad guy. Like, oh my god, you're supposed to be like
yeah.
really scared of this guy. Now, you know what I mean? Yeah.
No, but that is the Red Hood character. He's kind of a little bit of an edge lord kind of character. He's supposed to be like, he's supposed to be really hung up on a lot of this stuff now. Um, that's the whole point of the character. So that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, I don't have a problem with it because I really enjoyed Jason Todd. He's one of the better additions to season two, in my opinion.
Agreed,
Um,
agreed, totally agree.
so
Yeah, I love that he's that contrast to the
right,
Grayson, right? And what he wants to be. I love that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So that is why not it didn't bother me all that much. Yeah, that's a Red Hood character. It is nothing too far off. It's fine. Yeah,
Right.
that is how I feel about most of this going forward. I can't say in good contrast, I can't say I loving this, mostly because of that character
Yes.
being kind of dumb when you think about it and not making any goddamn sense. Um so that's how I feel about a lot of that. But
Yeah.
that's about it. Everything else is fine. Again, I still think there's a big weird payoff going forward. Like it's some they're hiding their cards. There's something to this that I'm missing. Because I find it real weird to have such a big character die, and I'm not talking about that character, I'm talking about another character who just dies off camera and they just move on now. I'm like, wait, what? Like they go in there, boy? That was just kind of weird that to do such a big deal now. That was like a core part of Red Hood storyline. And then they do that, and then they still have the Red Hood arc going forward. So like, wait, that what we're going for? All right, no problem. Let me see. I dug this for what it is, and yeah, so that's about it. It's only 3 episodes, not like the whole season. Let's see what they go
Exactly.
on
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
cool.
So
That's
yeah,
about
for the most part, I mean, it was what it was. It was an easy watch actually because it just was about 2 hours. I mean, the episodes don't overstay the welcome, right? But yeah, I'm intrigued and actually excited to see what we get with the rest of this season here. And for all we know, as Rotten Tomatoes saying right now, it's like the best season yet. This
Well, yeah,
this
okay.
could possibly be. It could possibly
Yeah,
be,
okay.
but
I'll
we
say,
won't know until
yeah.
the full season wraps up, right?
Yeah. That's the last point, and I can move on. So, like to me, I'll say the only problem is I had with this is that the big event that starts off the Red Hood narrative, I felt should have happened last season. To be honest, right? It's
Right, right.
started
I
this
understand.
because the timeline is totally off. Like him moving from becoming Jason Todd to Red Hood so quickly is really
Yes.
confusing. That
Yeah.
all I'll say is that. But here's the thing: I defend it because like if they having a big twist or some other different twist to that, then fine. Like it pays itself off and the writing is solid. But I really felt they should have done that at the end of the season and that should have end off last season. So it'd be like, oh shit, character that we thought died, and then they bring him back to start the big mystery of the Red Hood. Because a big part of the Red Hood storyline was figuring out who the Red Hood was, and then they reveal it as him. That is what makes the story work. But then they kind of just cards on the table almost immediately. Like, all right, that real quick. All right, so we'll see what they do. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.